What's up, YouTube? Told you I try to go live a little bit more. Hope I start seeing some of you guys coming in. I see two of you. I seen it coming. Yeah, I saw Willie D's live stream just now. Because there's been a lot of circumstantial evidence, but not definite reports. So I ain't really been saying anything. But when Willie D go ahead and do one, it's time. What's up? What's up, Ted? What's up, Tampa Supreme? What's up, Q Smith? Q Smooth, excuse me. Yasuke, Kachi King 90. Yeah, Kachi King. I went live sometime last month. I'm gonna try to go live a little bit more often than I used to. ID Forever, what's up? Sean Nelson, Aja Morris. Yeah, you was on the Willie D stream too. Yeah, I was on there too. They gotta play Mongo Slave theme song. AZ the Realist, what's up? Melvin. Yeah, Melvin. I mean, we always suspected it. I still can't say for certain, man, but man, the man, I think what it is with Diddy, man, it's his personality, the public persona. He's not a big, intimidating dude like Suge Knight. He wears glasses. He dances. That goes against the stereotype for a hard gangster, man. But if you look at Diddy's history, man, that dude, he ain't what people think he is. His father was a cold stone gangster. Gangster is in his blood. Diddy has been tied to a lot of underreported or non-reported hits. Big Jake in Atlanta back in 1995, which many people think is what sparked the East Coast, West Coast beef, or at least the beef between Bad Boy and Death Row. Because I think Big Jake, man, I used to really study this stuff, man, but I'm really fuzzy, man. A lot of you guys in the comment section probably a little bit more, oh yeah, and that too with Diddy, the alleged sexuality of him and shit, you know what I'm saying? Hey, there's been a lot of gay gangsters. A lot of tutti fruities. What's up, man? What's this? Samvaya? That's the T is silent. Samvaya. Mighty Nas 1. Zeddy Perry, the 4th. Q Smooth. My People, First William. Harry Chappell. Cruiser Nation, my boy. What's up, man? Yeah, so in case you guys haven't heard, basically what's being reported is Keffe D is singing. Keffe D is singing, man. You know what I'm saying? The prospects, I don't know what's going on. I don't know the details, but I'm assuming that Keffe D is looking at a situation where he might spend a significant amount of time potentially behind bars. And the guy's 60 years old. I think he's a diabetic. This ain't a 25 or 30 or 20-year-old man who could potentially sit on 25 years and still come out a relatively young man. This is a 60-year-old man. So I guess he's in a situation, from what I hear, he's naming names. He on the island upon himself. He's the last man standing as far as the people who were in that vehicle allegedly, right? that did the hit ain't in a situation where he gonna take some people with him or try to. The thing is, P. Diddy's a billionaire. I mean, it ain't easy to take down somebody with that type of power and influence. You know, I mean, this shit not even get reported. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know how realistic it is that Diddy will ever serve any type of prison time. I don't know. I just don't think it's realistic. I mean, you're going off the word, unless you have some serious incriminating evidence, you're going off the word of you're going off the word of a gangster, right? Going off the word of a gangster, and in the public's eyes, you know, I hate to say it, but a murderer, right? And you're going against a music icon who's worth billions and has some of the longest connections you ever going to see. So I don't know how realistic it is that Diddy will ever go to prison, man. How you guys feel about that? Yeah, but I do think he'll be questioned. Like with Willie D, I agree with that. I think he'll be questioned. Isaiah says, "How are you doing today?" I'm doing all right, man. I can't complain. I can't complain at all, man. Love this time of year, man. It gets cooler. Can't stand the heat. Can't stand the summer. Can't stand late spring. I love fall and especially winter. I'm a strange nigga. I love the cold. Biggie's mom knew Diddy was trash. Yeah, she had to be careful with what she said, but Valletta Wallace always pretty much gave you the impression when she was talking, she didn't trust Diddy. Maybe initially, in the first few months or year after after Biggie passed away, but action speaks louder than words. And a lot of people say he really didn't show, except for when he was in public, Diddy didn't really show a lot of remorse. Not remorse, that's not the right word. Show a lot of empathy or grieve much after. He didn't really seem to show any compassion, really, when Biggie died. Outside of like public displays, when cameras are in front of him, or when he was probably like acting in front of people and shit. Well, I hope he goes to prison because he done a lot of shady stuff over the years. Yeah, I agree with that. The Trader's Playbook said, "No, it's time for Karma to catch up to Diddy, Mace, and Gene Deal. Both alluded to him having something to do with Tupac and Biggie's murders." The Biggie one, I'm not certain about, but I definitely think that he had. I'm more suspecting that he had something to do with Tupac's, and Gene, and Keffe D's comments and statements strengthen my belief in that. With Biggie, I mean, it's a lot of things that we don't know. I do know that Gene Deal has said that, contrary to the movie Notorious, contrary to popular opinion, Biggie and P. Diddy were not like friends like that. They were business associates. And that toward the end, their relationship was being frayed anyway. It was becoming more frayed. And Biggie was on the verge of leaving Bad Boy anyway. If I remember correctly, Biggie was going to start a new company called Brooklyn Mint, was it? I think the label was going to be called Brooklyn Mint or something like that. It's been a long time, man. I'm talking about shit I read back in 97, 98. in '99, but I know he was gonna. I know Biggie was on the verge of creating his own music label, clothing line for big men. Uh, Biggie was about to branch out and be something bigger than what he was at the time, man. And I mean, what's it to say, man? I mean, I don't want to put some out there that may not be true, but you never know with these guys, man. These guys are some of these dudes are demons, man. Demons. With the someone was doing in LA promotion, but I mean, he didn't have to go out there, man. Biggie himself did not have to go out there, and it didn't make any sense. Now, like I said, I don't know if I can't definitively say that P. Diddy was behind Biggie's death, but you never know, man. I've heard Gene Deal say that Biggie was talked into going out there by a friend that he thinks may have set Biggie. Well, I don't know if I would say set Biggie up. I don't know if the friend knew that was going to happen, but maybe that Biggie was pretty much betrayed by a friend because Biggie knew the risk going out there. And another thing that is suspicious when I think about it was the night of that party, the after party, right? P. Diddy was acting really strange, like nervous, antsy, like he knew something was gonna happen. So it made me wonder, like, did he think that they may have tried to commit the hit inside the party, or you know what I'm saying? Like, because they were definitely there. They were definitely there in the perimeter. I mean, in the perimeter of the property. So, I mean, yeah, it is a lot of strange things with P. Diddy, man. It's a lot of strange shit out there when it comes to that dude, man. You said Shaq was supposed to be riding with Biggie that night. I hadn't heard that before, but I do remember hearing that Michael Clark Duncan was supposed to be with Biggie that night because back then, this was before Michael Clark Duncan really broke through. Right before he broke through in the movie industry, he had like little small roles here or there because he was in Friday. He had like a cameo, like one of those little small roles when they was rolling the dice when he knocked out Red. Michael Clark Duncan was the big dude next to Debo. But I do know that Michael Clark Duncan was a bodyguard, and he was supposed to have been with Biggie that night, but something happened and he wasn't. What's up, Boss Cat One? So, sorry if I missed some of you guys' messages. I'm trying to scroll, see if anything I'm missing. Velvet Singleton said, "Too Raw, did you see Diddy's face during Tupac's first shooting? The interview with him and Biggie. Had Biggie not been doing the talking, Biggie looked like he was about to, Tupac looked like he was about to crack." Yeah, I remember one interview when when Biggie and P. Diddy were doing a joint interview. And Biggie said something to the effect of, damn, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something where Biggie was kind of like talking in a way like he might be bigger than Bad Boy, or he might be the biggest star of Bad Boy. And Puffy's, I still sometimes call him Puffy. That's what we used to call him back in the 90s. But Puffy's eyes he had like this face like, the hell you are? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I've always felt like P. Diddy always felt like he was bad boy. Like, he, you know, I mean, you just got to look at every other artist for the most part that's been signed by Bad Boy or signed by Puffy to Bad Boy. I mean, did any of them really have any sustained lasting power in the media? You know what I'm saying, the entertainment industry? And every time P Diddy always tried to outshine him. It's like a curse being with Bad Boy and P Diddy. It's like it don't end up well for you. You either end up dead or in prison, or you know, you have one bad album and he tossed you aside like you sold a pair of drawers and shit. That nigga's ruthless, man. Tupac was kinder to Biggie than Diddy. Yeah, yeah, he definitely was, man. Um, all that shit. Tupac felt betrayed, man, and to a great degree, I don't blame him. They were close, Tupac and Biggie, before that whole Quad Studio shit went down, man. They were close, you know, and I don't know if Biggie. What I suspect is I don't think Biggie had it. I don't think Biggie was involved, but I think Biggie knew what was what was supposedly going to happen. And to Puff, well, all the shit that he did for Biggie, that was enough. That was enough of a betrayal, whether they was involved or not. Oh yeah, he bullied contestants on making the band. Yeah, I just saw a comment I want to talk about. What was it? It said, "Oh yeah, Melvin Singleton." I worked with a guy back in 2009 who told me he was in LA when Biggie got killed and that they had to cancel some concerts due to threats. Hmm. Said him and Suge are ruthless. I think fucking I think P Diddy is worse than honestly. From what I read, man, I think P Diddy is worse than Suge Knight, man. I think he's worse. Don't get me wrong, man. Suge was a gangster too, but I mean, it's a lot of things, man. That's real shady about P Diddy, man. Like the whole fucking Kim Porter situation. Uh, we never really learned what happened to her, right? Yeah, Treehouse put it perfectly. Suge, you could see, yep. Suge, you could see coming. Diddy was low key shady as fuck. Yeah, he was smiling in your face, acting he real cool, and have the knife behind his back, and you don't see it. At least Suge let you know what was up. You know what I'm saying? Suge didn't wear a mask. That's the thing that's different between the two of them. Yeah. D Brown said, I hope they give Mike Tyson them 2 minutes alone with Keffe D. Said he would love to have. Oh boy. It'd be an ass whooping, but it wouldn't be the ass whooping it would have been 15 years ago, though. But he'll still whoop his ass, though. Oh boy, will he whoop his ass? I've heard the same thing, Az. I've heard that too. It's just there's so much stuff out there, man. You don't know what to believe as far as was Puffy the guy that's supposed to be hit, whether it was Biggie. I tend to listen to Gene. Well, I haven't listened like I used to, but for a while I was listening to Gene Deal. I mean, he has credibility. He was there, and I know that there's no love lost between him and P Diddy. None. Another thing that Gene Deal said that he said that if that hit hadn't been successful, that they were just determined. I put it like this: they were determined that either P Diddy, well, it depends on how you look at it. I put it like this: that night they were determined that Biggie wasn't gonna walk out of LA alive. I put it like that because I think Gene Deal said that had that hit not been successful, they were supposed to have been ambushed trying to go to Steve Stout's party, if I'm not mistaken, he said. They would have been ambushed there. So this was that was a very largely connected, orchestrated, well-planned hit. To me, more so than the Tupac one in a lot of ways, man. I think that, you know, when you really do think about it, though, yeah, when you think about it, I can see why people think P Diddy had that whole thing set up, man. But you don't want to believe someone could be that cold to work with someone that long, your most successful artist. The main reason why, you know what I'm saying, you became relevant to that degree, you be that cold? Man. Who is Hendo? What's up? Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Jesus Christ is Lord. That Biggie was leaving Bad Boy. Yep, I think that would have been his last album. I think he was leaving. I think he was. I can't remember the exact name of the group, but I think supposedly he was going to he was going to create a label called Brooklyn Mint or something like that. And you know, I guess Diddy was like, "Fuck that! If you don't serve a purpose with me, you ain't gonna serve purpose by yourself. If you're not benefiting me, fuck, I'm letting you go, and you gonna be competition to me. Fuck yeah. I guess that's how he was. I also remember reading somewhere. I read this a couple of times. I don't know if you guys have read this too. That supposedly P Diddy was at a party or something, and supposedly he was intoxicated. Now, given that he was caught on camera saying what he said to Fabulous while intoxicated, I can believe it now. But supposedly this was like in the heart of the whole Bad Boy death row, East Coast, West Coast beef, right? And he was scared to death of Suge, right? He was scared of being assassinated and all that. I'm talking about P. Diddy. And supposedly he said something like, man, if it takes both Tupac and Biggie getting killed, if it takes both them niggas getting killed for me to have peace, fuck it. Something like that. Something to that effect. I don't know if y'all heard about that. He supposedly said something like that. Y'all heard anything about that? So Gene Deal repeated that. No, because this is something I read in a magazine a couple times. It might have been The Source a couple times. I don't know XXL, but The Source back in the day, I read a couple times. So Gene Deal repeated it. So that must have been legitimate. Okay. Okay. So Gene Deal said that. All right. Well, man, like I said, man, I do think that that Las Vegas Police Department probably will question P. Diddy, but I think it's going to take a lot of actual real evidence that I don't think they can provide. That Keffe D can provide. Like what type of evidence would be surviving? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you really tie P. Diddy to this thing other than what he's saying? I mean, because all the other players are gone. I doubt there's a real paper trail. What's up, Big Woke? Zip money that will still be traced easily. I mean, it ain't like the social media age, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. All I know is it's looking like this thing's going to go to trial. This is going to be big. And like I said, I hope they do have cameras in the courtroom for this. I hope the judge allows cameras in the courtroom because this is the type of trial that it's gonna break some records, man. You know what I'm saying? This shit gonna break some records, and it's gonna be some. It could be potentially some interesting people being called to testify. Some very interesting people being called to testify. Um, man, this shit could be enormous, man. I remember the OJ Simpson trial back in the '90s. Put court TV on the map. Like, court TV used to be called something else before it became court TV. But it used to show like car chases, car crashes. It used to be like this really lowly. It was a network that really didn't get any ratings, man. To the point where when they were airing the OJ Simpson trial, I think it became briefly the highest rated cable network on TV. Briefly. During during 95 into 96. That's how much people were paying attention to the OJ Simpson trial. And I put a video a couple months ago, the highest rated non-Super Bowl broadcast. And the 94 finals, when they cut into the broadcast and show the OJ Simpson car chase, 95 million people watched that. 95 million people watched that. that slow speed car chase in LA, and 150 million people watched the verdict in the OJ Simpson case. I think, as a matter of fact, was it Domino's Pizza? Domino's Pizza, I think, set a one-day record for most deliveries on that day. Because people literally were at work ordering pizza or at home ordering pizza, waiting for the verdict. I remember we was in school. I was in 10th grade at the time. And we stopped our curriculum to turn the TV on to watch. That's how big it was, man. For those of you who are a little bit younger, don't remember, it was huge. It was huge. This could be bigger than that. He said, what if Tupac somehow, oh Lord. Oh boy. He said if Tupac came to court. He's been faking his death the whole time. Oh boy, that been fun. That been funny shit, man. Yeah, man, that shit was huge back then, man. I know one thing. I got tired of seeing the side of OJ's fucking head every day. Every day I would see goddamn Robert Kardashian, the Kardashians' father, Robert Kardashian, more and more uncomfortable because he think OJ did it, trying to hide it. Then it was F. Lee Bailey, fucking Johnny Cochran just took over the case. Johnny Cochran took over the case, and then it was the other one, Robert Shapiro, and some other dudes, and OJ was right in the middle, head always in the fucking side, that slope up fucking head. I don't know, it just annoyed me. Like, damn, nigga, can you turn the side or something? Always in the side of his big ass head. Oh yeah. Oh, you say he was 10 years old at the time. I was just about to turn 14 when that car chase happened. I was just about to turn 14, and I was annoyed as fuck too. I was annoyed as fuck too when they interrupted the game and then they decided to do the split screen shit. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but I can't blame them. I can't blame network TV because they saw the ratings for that, and people didn't tune it. Look, 95, or whatever, the 90 to 100 million people weren't watching that fucking basketball game. They was watching the car chase. They noticed the rating spiking. So they said, well, we ain't turning away from this goddamn car chase. We're going to do a split screen. But fuck that. I don't blame them. I don't blame the people on TV for doing that. You said, well, how about country? It wasn't how it was country. It's just some, you know how, like, when you keep seeing a picture, when you keep seeing a courtroom picture, and you naturally look at OJ, and it's always, I don't know, man. It just, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just always the side of his goddamn head. I'm like, damn, can he turn around or something? I don't know. It's always the same damn pose. Yeah. They showed it was a slow speed car chase. You know, uh, yeah, they showed it on TV. Yep, because they this was when if I'm not mistaken, I think this is when a warrant was out for OJ Simpson's arrest. Because at first I don't think he was immediately a person of interest. Immediately, he wasn't a person of interest. Uh, but then, a lot of times when a spouse or when someone is killed like that, one of the first persons that they suspect is usually the husband or a lover or something like that. Now, OJ was a celebrity at the time, not an A-list celebrity, but a pretty big celebrity at the time. Um, it started having this creeping suspicion, because he was on a flight. Because I'm not mistaken, because I'm kind of fuzzy with this, but I think OJ was in Chicago when they called him that they found his wife deceased, and he claimed that he dropped a glass. I guess he was drinking a glass of alcohol, a glass of something. I don't know. And he said that he dropped it, and that's how he got the scratches on his hand, because he flew back to LA, and when police examined him, they noticed that he had scratches, you know, bruises on him, that he was having problems explaining it. So they started suspecting him. And I think they had put out a warrant for his arrest eventually. I think that was like 2 days later. And supposedly OJ was suicidal, not in a good state of mind. And there was this fear that he would do something to himself or potentially some others or whatever. So I think he was spotted on the highway because they didn't know where he was. So I still remember this because the news had started talking about it, reporting on it. I was watching NBC because that's the channel the game came on. So what happened was, I'm going off of memory, so I might be a little fuzzy. It's been 30 years, but I think he was spotted by a football fan, driven in that what was it, the Ford Bronco, by Al Collins, a friend of his. And that's when they located him. They did a slow speed chase, and they would communicate with him, I think, whatever. And eventually he went back to, I think as he was running out of gas, he went back to his estate. And then they eventually arrested him. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it went down. Yeah, it was a warrant out for his arrest. Yeah. Well, I mean, because it was so unreal, man. It was so unreal that was going on. Like it was crazy. Like a football star, a television personality was being accused of this type of crime, and and all this was happening in real life. And there was also, I think, in the '90s, a trend toward reality TV anyway. That's also partially what caused that trend toward reality TV that we started seeing in 2000. Something emulating that, something documenting people's real lives. A lot of that started from the fruits of that started from the OJ Simpson trial. Actually, yeah, you think you do this more often? Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna try to go live a little bit more, especially on days like this when not a lot of stuff is going on right now. I mean, I know there's situation going on in Israel and Palestine, but hey, man, you know, unless we get involved in that, that's their affair, man. They've been doing that for thousands of years. So I'm not, whatever. Um, I think he did have a gun on him. I think he did have a gun on him, and supposedly he was threatening to use it on himself. And then, if I'm not mistaken, afterward, he was taken to jail. Um, they wouldn't let him have a tie because he was on suicide watch or whatever. And then I saw his report saying that he failed his lie detector test miserably and all that. And then that's when public sentiment started turning against him, you know. But lie detector tests are not as foolproof as people think they are, though. They're not as foolproof as people think they are. The Cuba Gooding Jr. biography was a good show. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, it was good. I think Courtney B. Vance did an excellent job as Johnny Cochran. 225 girl, hey, she says, hey, Turaw, remember when he ran, I saw it as he was a black man and his wife was white and killed in the way she was. He saw how it would look, so he panicked and did what he did. That's plausible. That's very plausible. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what I think, man. This is just my opinion. I've said this on my Patreon. I don't want to go into too much detail about this. I don't think that OJ did it. But I do think that he knows who did it. And B, I think that he unfortunately came to the scene either right after the crime was committed or so close to the scene, so close to the actual murder that he may have even witnessed who did it leaving the scene. That's what I think happened. I think what happened was, and this don't get reported often. This doesn't get reported on TV because it doesn't fit the narrative. Nicole was a drug addict. Okay. The woman that was staying with her at the time, oh man, what was her name? Nicole Brown Simpson. What was that woman staying with her? Do y'all remember the woman staying with her? She was a big time drug addict too. Fiane, what the hell was her name? I can't think of her name. But anyway, that night, she was seen arguing with some drug dealers. She was seen arguing with some people that most people identified as drug dealers. Nicole supposedly was arguing with them to get off her property, right? But at the time, I'm trying to think of the woman's name because it's important to this situation. What is her name? Fionn. Oh my God, man. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing up the other lady, at that time, she had a similar hairstyle to Nicole Brown Simpson, right? Supposedly, the other woman whose name I cannot think of right now, she owed these motherfuckers like $150,000, right? That she hadn't paid. She was that big a cokehead. What I suspect happened was these guys came back, mistook her, Nicole, for the other lady. Because remember, this is at night, and they look similar. They mistook her for the other lady and killed Nicole. And plus, the way that they did it with the knives, that's more Colombian style. Cutting the throat, doing the necktie thing. That's more Colombian. That's more how they do their kills. You know what I'm saying? I did a little research. There was also a high-profile producer that was killed by Colombian, or not Colombian. I might be using the wrong term, not Colombian, but it was killed by a cartel. Same reason, the same thing. Happy face, pull the tongue through the hole in that Colombian necktie. Yeah, it's a Colombian necktie. So I was using the right ethnicity. But there was a rash of murders that occurred at that time between 92 and 94. And I always suspected that murder had something to do with the Colombian cartel, excuse me. I just think OJ happened to be there at the wrong fucking time and he panicked. I think that explains why there was blood on his shoes. I think that explains why he had blood on his clothing, because, he probably arrived at that because he was supposed to meet her that night anyway. I think he came there, saw the bodies, panicked, and fled. That's what I think happened. I could be wrong. Faye Resnick, that's her damn name. Faye Resnick. Faye Resnick at the time had her hair, she had the same hairstyle and her hair dyed the same color as Nicole's. Like I said, that's what I believe. I could be wrong, but I don't think OJ Simpson did it. I don't think he did it. Now, I do think that he used to put his hands on her. He did that, but I don't think he killed her. What's up, KJ? Ted Cox said, even at 6 years old, I knew he was a buck dance to my parents. You remember talking about OJ? Yeah, Colombian neckties. That's a signature style of execution for many of those cartels, man. Like that whole knife, cutting the throat, decapitation. That's more what they do. That's more their style. Well, yeah, I'm not saying one person. I didn't say one person, Melvin. And then you got to think about it. The other kid, it was two people there. And OJ, I mean, look, OJ was a big guy, man. OJ was probably like 47, 46, 47 years old at the time, 6'2", probably about 215, 220. Big guy, man, but I mean, I don't know, man. I don't want to make something culturally, like, I don't want to try to make it like a culture thing, but I just have a hard time seeing OJ just walking around at night with a knife, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, these are just my theories. I don't know if it's true or not, but these are my theories. That's what I tend to think happened. Oh yeah, I heard about that. She cheated on him with Marcus Allen. Mr. CT, what's good? Everyone, shout out from Youngstown, Ohio. Al Bundy country. That's where the one of the greatest actors of all time, Ed O'Neill, Youngstown, Ohio. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't see the motive there. Like, um, why now? Like, why would he do that? Because he saw them necking with one another or having sex. She been cheating on him all for years. Why now? And they weren't even really technically together. It just, I don't know. I don't know. It just never made a lot of the stuff that was put out there by the media just never made any sense to me, man. Like I said, maybe they're correct. Maybe they're 100% correct, and maybe he did do it. But it'd be a weird reason to do that. Ted Cox said Leah Remini is better than Kelly Bundy. I like Leah Remini after season 4. Whenever it was, didn't she have a baby or something? Whenever it was, when she started putting on a little bit of weight, and I mean in a good way, yeah, that's when I started liking Leah Remini. But yeah, Christina Applegate, she's going through it right now, though, man. You know, that's how I know we're getting older, man, because she retired from acting because she has multiple sclerosis. And last I read about her, man, she can't walk without a cane now. She's only 51 years old, but she has a very severe case of multiple sclerosis. Okay, you gotta get your ass up out of here with that dumb shit. They had to get some dude out here with that dumb shit. To my black people ignorant. Get the hell out of here. Silly ass, clown ass motherfucker. Oh, my boy R.M. Jr. in 1998. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, Leah Remini was thick, man. The judge would not. The judge would not permit Nicole's last phone call with her mother at 11:15 p.m. Mrs. Clark wouldn't allow it. Johnny tried his best to get it on trial. Yeah, because it didn't fit their timeline, right? It didn't fit the prosecution's timeline because they're trying to create a time. If I'm correct, they're trying to create a timeline which made it plausible for OJ to commit the crimes and then somehow Road Runner, you know what I'm saying, flash his way to his fucking residence and then catch a flight to Chicago. I mean, does that make any sense? Whatever, man. Let me commit this grisly murder, then yeehaw! Just fucking, you know, fucking drive 80 miles an hour so inconspicuously, draw attention to myself, breaking the speed limit, getting home, then fucking running like the road runner out my carts, fucking house. Whatever, man. I don't know. I just, I just think it's ridiculous. Man. And I'm not trying to make it seem like OJ is an angel. He's not. He beat that woman. And he should have been in prison behind that shit. but I don't think he's a murderer. I don't. I just don't see that shit. Oh, Anchor Woman 2. She was in Christina Applegate was in a sequel for those vacation movies. It was a couple of years ago, maybe like 2015, 14. She was in one of those vacation movies, like those old Chevy Chase movies, where the son was now the father, and he took his kids on vacation. Christina Applegate was his wife. The guy that played in those Hangover movies, the one that was the dentist, played her husband. I can't remember the name of the movie. It might have been Vegas Vacation. No, that wasn't Vegas Vacation. I forgot. Vacation something. Yeah, Ed Helm. That's his name. Kelly Bundy. I remember when that show first started, Kelly was more of like a bad girl. You know what I'm saying? Like they tried to portray her more as like a bad girl, but then they just they started focusing on her stupidity, and they just took that shit to a whole nother level, man. To the point where she was like the dumbest person on earth and shit. Hot piece of ass, though. Oh, Aish. Hot piece of Aish, but seriously mentally challenged individual, man. Oh, Ron Goldman had an FBI record. You know, not to speak ill of the dead, but you know, um, his son also dabbled, if I'm not mistaken. His son also dabbled in selling drugs. The one that was the waiter or whatever, he sold drugs on the side too. And also, not mistaken, Ronald Goldman, he's getting on my damn nerves, man. He gets on my nerves. He got on my nerves because he get up there like he's this this outraged, um, disgruntled, you know, I'm out for revenge against this killer nigger father and shit, right? But from what I understand, he didn't have a relationship with his son at all. Like they disowned him, or he disowned his son because, if I'm not mistaken, his son was gay, and he was virulently against homosexuality, right? So you know, it's funny that he only started becoming a grieving father when it got to the point where it would monetarily benefit him to do that. But that's just me. That's just from what I observed from Ron Goldman. Oh yeah, you know he was calling him that, Ted. Hey Gideon, I changed my number. So that's probably what the situation is. I think I still got your number, so I hit you up. Anthology, the anthology. Yeah, I'm live. Yeah, not a recorded video this time. Hey yo, what's up? This is Too Raw for TV. What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw TV. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Say something different, goddammit. I think I'll be thinking that sometimes. Hey, what's up? This is Too Raw for TV. This nigga say, what's up? This is for Too Raw for TV one more goddamn time. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Get it. Yeah, hit that like button, man. Y'all hit the like button. And tell me what you guys think. And tell me what y'all tell me what you guys think. Man, can he say something different in the video? Can he say thanks for watching? Or smash the like or something? Always thank you guys for watching. Or tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys think. Oh boy. Oh no, I can't do no OJ voice. I can't do no OJ. You know, I don't know if I've ever really heard anybody do a real good OJ impression. I don't think I've ever heard anybody do a real good OJ Simpson impression. Let me see. You said that's your take on it. Let me see. I didn't see the. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan. Well, you know, the thing about Jordan is, like, I just noticed that when he was doing live interviews, his speaking mannerisms wasn't as polished as when he's doing like a commercial. You know, like when he's doing a commercial, it's like or you know, a speech is like it might be something like hello, I'm Michael Jordan. And I've been a member of the Chicago Bulls for 13 years now. And when Feed the Nation came to me for an endorsement, I said absolutely 100% that I would represent this awesome organization. Feed the children. You know, he'll talk like that, but then when he's doing like an interview with like after they won the, you know, like let's say they just won a big series or something. Michael, you scored 47 points tonight. You were in your groove. What happened tonight? But you know, shit. You know, I just, you know, hey, you know, I give you know, Steve Kerr, Scottie Pippen, you know, hey, them guys, man, you know, they did what they had to do. You know, hey, I just had to do, you know, look, man, you know, my shots fall tonight. Phil Jackson came to me and said, man, you got to step up and then I don't know. It's just like, damn, like, why are you so all of a sudden when you're doing an interview, it's like an old inarticulate country motherfucker all of a sudden, man. It just, I don't know. I just always noticed that when he would do interviews. So I don't know. His voice always stuck in my head whenever I try to do Jordan impersonations and shit, man. That's how he talk for real, man. Like when he have time to really think about what he got to say and practice it and work on his cadence. That North Carolina country come out of him, man. It should be funny as motherfucker. Yeah. Dr. X just said it. He tried to hide his southern accent. That's exactly what he used to do. And he also has a bit of a stammer. Because I do. I know a stammer. Not a stutter quite, but it's a stammer. And he got a little bit of a stammer when he talks. So he probably like worked for years on hiding that and polishing it. But when he's talking in an interview, excited, that shit come out. Just like a person that has a stutter. And when they go through speech therapy, they learn to control it. But when you're excited or you're speaking off the cuff, that shit can come right back. And also it comes back as you get older. Because that's what's going on with Joe Biden right now. Joe Biden can't talk anymore. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's a challenge. You know, nobody trying to say that, Clyde Drexler didn't have a great season. He did. But, people try to say that, Clyde was on my level. That saw as a challenge. Yeah. Charles is a great guy. Charles can say things that I'll be thinking, and I admire Charles for that. But when people saying Charles Barkley was the MVP, that's okay. You can think that. But now we're going to prove it. Now we're going to prove when it really matters. I took on that challenge. I think I do say that word a lot, don't it? Oh, Sergeant Braun. Sometimes when I be doing those videos, man, I just be like I can't remember some of the stuff I be saying. Some of them videos, man, I just be saying shit that I be thinking about. I don't really be remembering some of the stuff I say sometimes. I can't find one of my damn videos, man. It was a video I did about the dude, the NASCAR driver that found the noose, and I was doing Sheriff Buford T. Justice, and I can't find that damn video. I must have deleted it by mistake or something, because I was trying to re-upload that one. I did it like 4 years ago or something. Malika Andrews impression? Yeah, Bubba Wallace, that's his name. Malika Andrews impression? Arf, 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 arf. Here, Fifi. Here, Fifi. Arf, arf. I don't know if you get that one. I don't know if I'll get that one, but arf, 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 arf. Aren't female dogs so lovable? Arf. You get what I'm saying, Josh? I'm calling her, you know what, without calling her that. Arf, arf. Fifi's such a lovable female dog. Kendrick Perkins impression. Man, sometimes I be forgetting how the hell some of these dudes talk, man. I don't really be listening. Like, a lot of times when I be doing like impressions and stuff, I listen to them talk. Like, I'll listen to a couple of interviews or whatever when they're talking, and then I can kind of get a cadence. But sometimes if I don't listen to a person for a while, I can kind of forget how they talk. It's like a rhythm you develop listening to people's voice. I mean, I know he got like this country ass accent, but a lot of times when I do Kendrick Perkins, I just go, like the old fucking 50s and 60s cartoons and shit. Duh. I remember one time. Oh, there we go. There we go. I remember one time we was in the locker room and Russell Westbrook snitch ass nigga. Illiterate ass. But wait a minute, let me make my point though. My point is, see, the white media, see, she ain't letting me get my point across. If you let me get my point across, you're Randy Newman. Keffe talks so slow that I have to put his clips on double speed just so he sound normal. Oh yeah. Remember Josh? It's when he dropped that 60-point game against Orlando. He said, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna criticize Kyrie Irving no more. He showed everybody what time it is. I mean, he had the floaters. I mean, he had the step back. I mean, the crossover, the heavies. He had it all going today at night. Then 3 months later, like I said before, Kyrie, you put his brain in a bird, that bird is gonna fly sideways. I didn't watch the OKC Spurs game, but I saw that Wemby got off. I saw he got off, and they tried to make it like a Chet Holmgren versus Victor Wembanyama thing. I do think that he's going to be a good player. Victor, he's going to be good. The question is he going to be a franchise changing player like Tim Duncan or David Robinson? Or is he more like trying to think of somebody that's good but not franchise changing? Will he be more like a Ralph Sampson? I don't know. I mean, I just think we've seen enough guys that size shoot the ball. I'm not saying he got to be, and in this era, you can't really just play post play. You got to mix it up because of the way the game is played. But man, I mean, I just want to see some more like post play, man. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just a weirdo dude, man. That when I was growing up, man, I like centers. I like the big man. Don't get me wrong, I love Michael Jordan. I did, but I like Elijah Wan. I like watching Shaq and Robinson and Ewing and Mourning. I like rebounding and blocking shots and playing defense. And you know, to me, watching NBA is murder because none of that shit gets emphasized. None of it. Nobody gives a fuck who's leading the league in rebounding. Nobody gives a shit who's leading the league in block shots. Nobody cares who, you know what I'm saying, has the best post game no more. Nobody cares about that shit no more. All people care about is who leading the league in scoring, who got the prettiest jump shot, who got the best handles, who can shoot from the longest threes. It's everything perimeter orientated. And like I said, I'm not knocking that because I like that stuff growing up too. But I like all the basketball when I was growing up. I like outside shooting. I like the mid range game. I like post play. It's like basketball is incomplete today. It's like it's incomplete, and we need a transcendent player to push it back a little bit more toward where it needs to be. You can still make it about threes, but let's just emphasize something else for once. That's all I ask for. Yeah, man. Yeah, Isaiah W says it. He says these centers nowadays are shooting threes before working on their post games. Yep, and it should be the opposite. It should be these guys should be working on their post games. Just working on their post games, and then expanding their games outward. That's how. I mean, that's what it should be, and that's how it used to be. Yeah, Josh. When Kevin McHale was there, James Harden used to be able to play with his back to the basket. James Harden used to play in the post. James Harden had a mid range, but ever since Mike D'Antoni took over, at the time Mike D'Antoni took over, man, James Harden started developing some bad habits. Remember, um, early last year when James Harden was killing it, he was starting to score in the post a little bit more, some more mid range, but he was facilitating more. He wasn't having the ball as much in his hands. Then, toward the year, he started reverting back to the same shit, you know. But if the Clippers get him, that's on them. That's on them. Yeah, Al Jefferson, yeah, had a great post game in footwork. Yeah. What's up, Bakari King? Lack of fundamentals is destroying the NBA. Yeah. So before I end this stream, some I want to ask you guys. So the NBA season starts in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Who do you got as the best team in the West right now? Or who do you think is going to be the best team in the West? Because to me, I think the best teams in the East right now look like they're going to be Milwaukee and Boston, barring injury. Right? I understand there's always a surprise team, but I think it's going to be Milwaukee and Boston. In the West, do you think Denver is still going to be up there, or do you see another team? Like, do you think Phoenix is going to be that team? The Lakers? You know what I'm saying? Do you think Dallas might make a strong go at it? Nuggets in the West and Bucks in the East. Lakers are deep, but Nuggets are still the Nuggets. Yeah. I see a lot of you guys got Denver up there. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I think what's going to hurt the Lakers, man, is, I mean, you just got to look at history. Like, with the exception of the year where we had the pandemic and there was a 4.5 month break in the season, AD and LeBron get hurt every year. I mean, they're guaranteed to get hurt. I mean, that's not me wishing that on them. It's just AD just can't stay healthy. It just happens every year. He's going to miss minimum, what, 20 games? And then LeBron, he's missed an average of 22 games a year, something like that. So these guys miss games. LeBron's 38 going on 39. And I just can't think of a team in NBA history where your best player was that old and they won a championship. The oldest Finals MVP, I believe, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was 38, right? Now that team had Magic Johnson. That team had other great players on there. LeBron would be 39 by the time of the finals. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just don't see it. I tend to think that the newer generation is going to eventually take over the NBA. The Phoenix team has the potential, but it's even worse with those guys because everybody in that starting lineup has a history of injuries. Everybody. So I'm assuming Nurkic is going to take over from Ayton. Nurkic, we know, has a history of being hurt all the time. Durant has a history of being hurt all the time. Booker gets hurt. Beal has a history of being hurt all the time. I don't know, man. I think the West is going to be a lot more competitive, but I just can't help but think that people are underestimating the Denver Nuggets, man. And then another thing too, man. Wow, do people underestimate Jamal Murray? Like I was looking at people's top 10 in the Western Conference, and he never shows up. Jamal Murray never shows up in anybody's top 10 in the West as far as players are concerned. He's never talked about. And this is what I've been talking about for years on my channel. I'm like, man, do people remember Jamal Murray playing? I'm not saying he's the best all-around player, man, but this guy's a fucking killer. And I would think after this season, he'd get a little bit more respect, but nope. Nope. Nobody talks about him. You said European NBA is what we're watching now. Yeah. Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, Gideon. I know one thing. If the Denver Nuggets repeat as champions, and let's say Jokic wins his third league MVP, y'all guys know I'm really big on giving players of the past credit. But if he wins a second championship for the Denver Nuggets and wins his third league MVP, man, how can you not have Jokic at the very least at that point, a top 15 all-time player? At the very least. I mean, you just have to. You have to at that point to have 2 championships with the Denver Nuggets, a team that had never won anything close to a championship before in the NBA, and even in the ABA. I think they were in the ABA finals in '76. And then to have 3 league MVPs, and then all the guys with 3 league MVPs that I can think of are guys like LeBron, Jordan, Wilt, Russell, Moses Malone, Kareem, Bird, Magic. Might be forgetting a couple people. Those are the main guys. Those are all like top 10-ish players. You have to put them up there. Now, let's say the Bucks win, though. If the Bucks win a championship, that would be Giannis' second championship. And I don't know if he'll win. Let's just say he gets the MVP. Let's just say he does. The same thing with him. 2 championships with the Bucks, which will put him over Kareem as the greatest Buck ever. Let's say he has a season where he wins a MVP award and he wins Finals MVP. Same deal. So, these are some very important years for some of these players' legacies. These are some very important years for some of these guys' legacies, man. Yeah, I blame Denver for that, man. Josh, that guy's jersey is never going to be retired by the Denver Nuggets. That's disgusting. I see Gideon says, let me see. I think the Celtics beat the Bucks. Holiday has contained Dame in the playoffs. Middleton and Lopez is too streaky. Greek Freak is a one-man wrecking ball at the same time. Horford has given him fits. Yeah. Then you also have the the X factor in a guy obviously like Porzingis. My only counter to that would be, is this going to be the same Al Horford that we've been seeing the last couple of years? Because he is getting older. He's 37. And what we saw last year with Drew Holiday and Jimmy Butler, was that an indication that maybe it's just a situation where he just can't. All great defenders have a guy that they struggle with. It just seems like it's always the case. Like it's always one guy that you just can't figure out, or if not that, it's just some guy that you just struggle with. Like Charles Barkley always had problems with Popeye Jones. He just couldn't figure out Popeye Jones for some reason. Shaq had problems with Big Country Reeves. I think he talked about that. And you heard Isaiah Thomas say he could never guard Steve Coulter. He couldn't guard him. So I'm starting to wonder, like, is it just a situation where Drew Holiday just has problems with Jimmy Butler? And it's not that Drew is falling off. It's just that he can't figure him out. Like he can't figure this dude out. Or was last year an indication that Drew may be slowing down a little bit? I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm inclined to believe it's more of the former. I think that Jimmy Butler is just all wrong for Drew Holiday. He just can't guard the guy. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, Gideon, that Middleton's not the same player. I wish the NBA would go ahead and bring the Seattle Supersonics back, man. Everybody's so fixated on a Vegas team, and I know why. I know why, but they need to bring the Sonics back, man. That was so wrong what the NBA did to the Sonics back then, man. It's taking that franchise away from them. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this, y'all. Been talking for about an hour and a half. Told you I would go live a little bit more often than I used to. Still make a couple of more videos today. So I'll catch you guys a little bit later on with some uploads, but I'm gonna say something different this time. So hasta la vista, Alvida Zane, and lick ass.